So again, here the metric is, it could be revenue or the number of users, whichever it is. How does, that product which gets you faster, gets the company faster to a bigger number of this metric, is what takes the precedence over anything else, even though it's the same technology that drives all of these products. So when I talk about the asymmetry, this is more of a conceptual, or even the mindset that drives the product roadmap kind of thinking. And the reason why I said this is, in general, there's always this marketing versus engineering, and sometimes when you get into heated arguments about, look, technology is more important, and without engineers there are no companies. And then there's this question of, look, if marketing and sales don't sell the product, there is no company. Well, all of those are missing a bigger point, and that point is that essentially both the technology and the kind of product that you need to get to this metric faster, they both need to be synthesized in a proper way, and that is what roadmap is all about. In fact, the kind of thinking that goes into making a roadmap for a company is really, it starts with answering these three questions that I talked about earlier. And the questions are, number one, what problem of the customer does your product solve? And second, is it in line with your company vision? And third is, can you make a business case out of it that this product is worth developing it? So if you look at a typical roadmap, a roadmap really is constructed this: first you answer these questions, and then you put the product that qualifies, and then that gets passed, that gets approved. And then you go to the next point in the roadmap and you ask the next question. And again, by the time you go to the next point in the roadmap, you have more new information from this current product being out in the market, right? In fact, in that sense, I always understood a product as a opportunity for your company people, yourself and your engineers, to start listening to the market. So every time you successfully put a product out into the market, you are actually implanting a sort of a remote hearing aid device, so to speak, or eyes and ears for the market. How customers react to that product and how competition reacts to that product is sending you signals back to you as to what your next product could be or should be. And so roadmap is really nothing but, you answer these specific questions, you arrive at one product, and then you go to the next point in the time, 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or 2 weeks or what have you. And then you answer these questions again, and then so you construct the roadmap like this. And if you do it in a proper way, if you do it in a way that helps you synthesize the right information, and if you're listening to the market, I think the most important thing, I guess, in the roadmap development is, once you put the product out into the market, are you listening to it? In the sense, are you listening to everything else, all the buzz that is generated or not, what customers are saying? If you're listening to it, and if you are keeping your eyes open, ears open, and if you're able to synthesize it, that will help you make the next point in the roadmap much better and more appropriate to where you want to go in the company. So basically, that's the roadmap, that's the kind of thinking. Again, goes back to the product definition. We talked about what these three questions that you want to ask, and we talked about the roadmap. So in the next lecture, I'm going to introduce a process called new product introduction. In any technology company, in most technology companies, there is a recognized process that is followed, to some extent and to a large extent in different companies. But basically, this helps, all the thinking that I just described, put that thinking into a nice methodical framework, and so that everybody in the company can contribute to that framework, so the decisions that get made are done in a proper way. So next lecture, new product introduction process, and we'll see you then. Thank you.